Yeah, in the previous session, we were discussing about software testing lifecycle. Here, software testing lifecycle, in a sense, what are the things we have to perform during the testing for achieving the good quality software, for getting the good quality software. So these are the different software testing lifecycle phases we are going to be follow during this testing process. First one is requirement analysis. Second one is test planning. Third is test case development, test environment setup, test execution, test cycle closure. See, this software testing life cycle is a process with a combination of all these phases, and each phase will be having some goal and it will be having some deliverables. See, here STLC has entry and exit criteria of each and every phase what it is has. See, what is entry, what is exit? That we will discuss. What is entry, what is exit criteria? See, what we require to enter into this particular requirement analysis, that is prerequisites, we can say. So something, whenever we want to do something, we are going to be say like, if we want to do this, we need to complete something, like what we can call it as a prerequisite that is required to enter into that particular phase, and to exit from this particular phase we need to have exit this, what are the goals we have in this particular phase. After achieving that particular goals only we can able to leave from this particular phase. See, each phase will be having exit criteria, activities, and as well as deliverables. Here, what will be having in entry criteria? Before testing begins, you have to complete the prerequisite items. Exit criteria will be having what items need to be completed before ending this particular phase. That is what we'll write here. Entry, exit criteria for each phase in STLC. What is entry criteria? Entry criteria, before testing begins, we have to complete prerequisite items. Prerequisite items. Exit criteria. What will be happening? What items need to be completed before ending this particular phase? This phase or testing process. Okay, this is what we can consider as entry and exit criteria. So first we will discuss about the requirement analysis phase. Requirement analysis phase. In the requirement analysis phase, what the test engineer is going to be performed. So actually in the requirement analysis phase, major work will be by the stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? Business analyst team, project manager, and the senior developers in some teams are going to be involved in gathering the requirements. They are going to be get all the requirements from the client, everything. They will be preparing the document as well. Then what is the role of test engineers or quality analysts in the requirement analysis phase. So we are going to be call that requirement document as BRS document. In the requirement analysis phase, the test team will receive this BRS document. The technical term you have to remember, BRS document, business requirement specification document. So here, BRS document. The test team will go through with this document and identify the requirements for testing perspective. We'll go through BRS document. Identify the requirements from a testing perspective. From a testing perspective. See here, main task is quality assurance. When the test engineers are going through with this BRS document, they will go with the test and the required inputs to test it and what it is going to be get the output or expected result. If any confusion is there in that particular requirement, what the client is specified, then immediately the testing team is going to be bring that to the stakeholder notice. What is a stakeholder? Stakeholders are like business analyst, client, product team, or a project lead. We can see for the better understanding of the product, or if any doubts are going to be raised, it is going to be get clear in the requirement analysis phase itself. So because of that only, the testing team is going to be involved in this particular phase. So this is the what the testers role in the requirement analysis phase. And they are going to be identify what the test environment, what is a test environment, where the software testing has to be executed or has to be tested. They will be deciding everything here for getting the good quality software. Good quality software. See what is we are going to be get here. An entry level we are going to be get business requirement specification. The full form of this is business requirement specification. Yeah. So what they are going to be deliverable here? List of testable requirements. List of all testable requirements. So what initially we need to get? BRS document. BRS document. The test engineers, we are going to be go through with that, and we are going to be list out all the things what we need to perform the testing, what we need to test, what are the testable requirements. We are going to be list out everything. Test planning. So what will be happening in this test planning? This is the first step of testing process. Even though if we are starting for the requirement analysis, we will say this is a first step in the testing process, because all the testing strategies what we have to apply, that and all we are going to be decide here itself. See here, all testing strategy is defined in this stage itself. That is why we'll call it as test strategy phase as well. Test strategy phase as well. See, who is going to be involved in this particular phase? Who is going to be involved in this particular phase? Only the test engineers will involve in this particular phase? No. So test manager, test lead, and the team members is going to be involved into it. And why the test manager, test lead has to be involved in this test planning phase is how much effort we have to keep and what will be the cost for this project, how many resources we require, everything they are going to be planned in this particular phase. What are the tools we need to have in this particular phase itself? They are going to be decided. We can able to perform manual testing, or we have to go for automation if it is required. What will be the roles and responsibilities of resources required for this? Everything they are going to be finalized here. So that what we will discuss. How much will involve? Test manager,
Test lead.
manager or lead will involve in determining how much effort and cost of the project. See here, they are going to be prepare this based on the requirement analysis. Without having the requirement analysis, they cannot able to determine what we are going to be do here. And here we are going to be plan for resource. I mean, test manager or the lead is going to be plan for resource planning, tool selection. If it requires automation, they'll be going for automation, roles and responsibilities, for resources. If any training is required for the resources, all the things we are going to be planned here. And what will be the deliverables? What will be the deliverables in this particular phase? Test plan and effort estimation document. Effort estimation document. In essence, how much cost it will take, how much people has to be work on that, what are the tools we need to use on that, if any specific training has to be provided to the resources. This all we are going to be get to know in this test planning. See, the main purpose of this particular phase is to identify the activities and resources to achieve the goals, And the next phase we have here is next phase what we have, test case development or test case design phase. Test case design or test case development phase. Test case development or design phase. Once the test planning is completed, We'll come to know what is a test plan, what is the effort we have to keep, what are the estimation, and what will be the resources, any training required, everything will come to know under this. Next phase, the next job of the testers is to write the test cases. Here, the people are going to be write the test cases, writing test cases, and they will be preparing the test data, what it is required while we are performing the testing. So directly, when the development team has developed the product, we are not going to be test the application with some proper documentation, with some proper planning only. We have to test that particular product what the development team has been developed. So what is the cases? What is the cases? What is the input we need to provide? What is our expected result? Everything we are going to be designed. As per that design, our test cases are satisfying or not. So that we are going to be write the remarks. So that what we are going to be do here, testing team prepare the test data if required during testing. Once the test case is ready, it will be reviewed by the complete team or by the team lead. Once test case is ready, it is reviewed by any one of our team or team lead. They are going to be review this whether it is done properly or not. So here, what is the entry criteria? We are going to be accept the requirement documents, and deliverables here is we are going to be write the test cases. If it is a automation testing, test scripts and test data. What will be the deliverables of this particular phase? Test cases, and we need test data. So some data is also required to provide as an input and to check what the output we are going to be get. And if it is automation testing, we are going to be get the test scripts as well. If automation, so these are the things we required in this particular test case development or design phase. And coming to the next phase, what we have here is test environment setup. Test environment setup. Test environment setup. See, mainly here we are going to be decide on which condition the software or the product is going to be tested. On which condition the software is going to be tested. See, we are going to be set up the environment. Once the setup is ready, the test team does the smoke test to check the test environment's readiness. We are going to be perform one kind of testing that is called as smoke testing, whether this environment has been set up or not. So what is smoke test and all we are going to be discussed under various types of testing. So what is the deliverable here? What is the deliverable here? We are going to be get the test environment. And we are going to be consider smoke test results. And in the next phase, we are having test execution.
Sir, can you explain once again? Test environment setup.
So next we'll move to the test execution. Test execution. Once the developers see, actually, when the developers are developing the code, module wise, they are going to be develop the code and they are going to be perform the unit testing based on the language what they are using for developing the requirement. So then the testing team will get the test build and the testing team executing the test cases based on the test cases what they have designed in or they have developed in the test case development. If the actual result is not matched with the expected result, then the quality analyst or test engineer is going to be raise a bug or defect on a task management tool. So we have some tools like Jira. These are all will be having some tools will be there. And once again, that issue is going to be reported to the development environment and the development environment is going to be verify it and they are going to be rectify that. That is what they are going to be uh, rectify the bug and again they will give for testing. Now the test engineer's role is they are going to be perform the testing for that and along with that bug they are going to be conduct for the rest of the functionality as well. Sometimes whatever the bug they have rectified, if they are performing the testing only that particular bug, even if it is working fine, there is a chance of getting to get effect with the other functionality. Because of that, they have to perform other things also. What will be the deliverable here? What will be the deliverable here? Test case, execution, report, defect report. These are the things we are having. And finally, we are having test closure. This is a final stage of software testing lifecycle where the test matrix finally, like we are going to be sit in a place and discuss what all went well, which area needs to be improved, and taking the lessons from the current software testing lifecycle as the input to upcoming test cycles. So this all will be happening in the test closure. This all will be happening in the test closure. This is about software testing lifecycle. This is about software testing lifecycle.